Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to a very, very special show of Les Morte d'Arthur tonight. Tonight is the night we've been waiting for months, ladies and gents. Tonight is the night that prophets have spoken of. Tonight, even Merlin once spoke of this night. This is the night that Sir Tristram has been heading towards ever since waves first crashed upon the Cornish rocks. This is the night that all this has been coming towards ever since Tristram first raised his sword against Palomides. This has been the night that all of this has come towards ever since Palomides and Tristram first laid eyes upon her soul, and each one burned with desire. This, ladies and gents, will be the night that Palomides and Tristram will once and for all settle all debts, settle all questions of what is right and what is wrong, over who loves Isolde the most, over who is the right to call her their lover. Tonight, ladies and gents, Tristram and Palomides will fight each other and end it all. Which makes me very, very excited. So hello and welcome. Hello Danny, hello Anita, hello Katie, hello Karen, hello Queen, hello Julia. Come in and settle yourselves down for a great show. This will be the final show before I go off on holiday, ladies and gents. This will be the end of season 12. We will begin season 13 when I get back from New Zealand. It's a great episode to end. If you're going to, I didn't plan to end on this. It's entirely by chance, and by chance, what a great chance it is to be here. Hello Black Rabbit, by the way. Hello Azazel. Welcome. I hope that you guys enjoy this show. Of course you'll enjoy. How can you not enjoy it? And this will be great. We'll give it another minute, and then we shall go in, and it shall be the greatest fight that we have ever done. Absolutely, Katie. Shield your eyes. Wear goggles, people. Folk in the front rows will get wet with blood. I can guarantee you that. Or spittle. One of the two. This is good. I've been busy all day getting everything ready at work so that I can go off on a holiday and sorting it out. And I've just sat down now for the first time all day, and it's fantastic to be here with you guys, ready for this. All day I've been looking forward to this. I've been really, really excited to actually come out and do this. And finally, I've not touched Katie. I haven't actually had a chance to do the packing yet. Today was just about getting work sorted, so getting everything sorted at work. I've got a weekend to pack. I'm packing over the weekend so that I can leave next week. Next week I'm going. Got the weekend to pack. Work is sorted. We're here to do the show. I will give you folk the show of a lifetime to end the season. Yeah, don't worry, Katie. It's not like there's no packing done and I'm going first thing tomorrow morning. We're going next week. I've got the weekend to pack. Work is sorted. We'll do the story. Then I will pack and repack and juggle things around and weigh stuff and all that. All that excitement still to come on Saturday. But for tonight, ladies and gents, for tonight, let's get into Les Morte d'Arthur. We have, since I think before Christmas, we've been telling the story of Sir Tristram since before Christmas, ladies and gents. That's a long time. That's a very long time. For those of you who weren't even there when the story began, let's have a giant recap now that we're about to begin the conclusion of the battle between Palomides and Tristram. Tristram is a Cornish knight. One of the greatest knights in all the world, one of the noblest, one of the toughest, one of the strongest, the only knight who has ever proven himself to be equally as strong as Tristram is Lancelot. And even he has not managed to properly beat him in a battle. Tristram, being such a good knight, once, during the beginning of his knightly deeds, found himself in Ireland where he was recovering from a wound. There he was nursed by the beautiful Princess Isolde of Ireland, and as soon as Tristram saw her, he fell madly in love with her. But another knight had also fallen in love with her, ladies and gents. He was the Saracen Sir Palomides, who came over to England to join the court of King Arthur, following on from Arthur's quest against the Holy Roman Emperor. Palomides much desired to have Tristram, to have Isolde. Tristram desired to have Isolde as well. The two men decided to settle it as knights choose to settle things. They had a tournament. They fought each other. The victor would be the one who would get to court Isolde. Tristram was the victor, and from that day, Palomides has hated him. Time and time again, those two knights have come together. Swords raised, clashing, smattering. They have fought, they have thrown each other from horses. They've pulled themselves out of dirt. They've thrown mud at each other as they raced up with swords to stab, to knock, to aim for the eyes of the helmet, to get knocked back, to find themselves having their armour hewn from their bodies, skin rent asunder as they've clawed each other, thrown punches in the dirt. And to this day, at every single proper fight, Tristram has had his victory. But, ladies and gents, not so long ago, Tristram and Palomides had it out. Palomides declared that he loved Isolde, that he would always love Isolde, that it was his right to love Isolde. Tristram claimed that Isolde should only be loved by one man, and that should be him. Tristram claimed it was not right for Palomides to love Isolde. And he said that the two of them must fight it out. Palomides agreed. Even though he thought that Tristram would be able to defeat him, he agreed to fight for the love of Isolde because he had no other way of living. But it so happened, ladies and gents, it so happened that on the day that the two men were due to fight, Tristram had been hit by an arrow, and so he would not agree to fight Palomides in his weakened state. And so the fight was postponed for years, ladies and gents. But Tristram, in heading to a great tournament at Camelot, has come across Palomides once more, and now the two of them have set it to themselves that they will once more fight, ladies and gents. They will once more fight against each other, and this time all shall be decided between them as to who shall have the love of Isolde. That is what you've come here for tonight, ladies and gents. That is what I'm happy to be sharing with you, ladies and gentlemen. This is the climax of the tale of Tristram as told by Sir Thomas Malory. This is the finale of season 12 of Tristram and Isolde. This, ladies and gents, is the ultimate showdown. So let's get into the show. Sir Palomides, Sir Tristram, when they faced each other upon the open road to Camelot. I marvel to find that you are such a good knight, and yet you have never been christened. Even your brother, Sir Sapphire, has been christened for many a day. As for that, said Palomides, I may not yet be christened, for one a vow that I made years ago. However, in my heart I believe in Jesus Christ and his mild mother Mary. I have but one battle to do, and when I have done this battle, then the number of battles that I will have fought in God's name will have been complete. And once that is done, then I will be baptized with goodwill. For I swore to fight 300 men before it would happen. Well then, said Tristram, if one battle more is all you seek to be baptized, then seek it no longer. For God defend yourself, said Tristram, that through the fight against me, you should have to no longer live a Saracen. Now help me, said Tristram. Arm me in the armour of this man who has been knocked down here, so that I may face you man to man and knight to knight and fulfil our vows. As you will, said Palomides, so shall it be. And they approached a knight by the side of the road that Palomides had knocked down, and they sat the knight upon a bank, and Sir Tristram saluted him. The knight weakly saluted him again. Sir Knight, said Tristram, I require that you tell me your name. Sir, he said, my name is Galaran of Galway. I'm Knight of the Round Table. So God help me, said Tristram. I am right heavy of your hurts, but this is all. I must pray, said Galaran, that you should lend me your entire armour, for you see, I wear none, and I must do battle with this knight, Sir Palomides. Sir, said the hurt knight, you shall have it, and with good will as well. But you must beware, I tell you, for that knight is strong. Sir, said Galaran, I pray you, tell me your name, and what is that knight's name as well, because it was he who beat me. Sir, as for my name, it is Tristram de Lyon, and as for the knight's name who beat you, he is Sir Palomides, brother to the good knight Sir Saphir, and as of yet he is unchristened. Alas, said Sir Galaran, it's a pity that so good a knight and so noble a man of arms should be unchristened. So God help me, said Tristram, either he shall slay me now, or I shall slay him, but he shall be christened before we depart the field of battle this day. My lord Tristram, said Galaran, your renown and worship is well known through many realms, and God save you this day from any censorship and shame. And then Sir Tristram unarmed Galaran, who was a noble knight, and had done many great deeds of arms. And he was a large knight, a knight of flesh and bone. And when he was unarmed, he stood upon his feet, for he was bruised in the back by a spear. And yet, so as Sir Galaran might, he armed Sir Tristram, and then Tristram mounted upon his own horse, and in his hand he got Galaran's spear, and therewith Sir Palomides was ready. And so, ladies and gents, those two knights stood facing each other upon the road, and then they came and hurtled together, each one smiting each other in the middle of their shields, and therewith Sir Palomides' spear broke, and Sir Tristram smote down the horse upon him. Palomides, falling to the ground, rolled to avoid the horse, dressed his shield, pulled out his sword, and then Sir Tristram let down as well to fight him on foot, and tied his horse to the tree first. Then, ladies and gents, they came together as two wild boars, lashing strokes against each other's armours, tracing and traversing upon the plain as noble men that oft had been proved in battle before. Tristram raising his sword above his head to strike it down, Palomides darting to cut in under the armour, Tristram's armour being knocked down, Palomides having his gauntlets smashed from his hands, having his cuirasses knocked from his body, so that they were both rent with armour, and blood was dripping to the ground. The grass turned red, ladies and gents, and ever Ever did Sir Palomides dread the might of Sir Tristram as he approached, and therefore he suffered to give him space. And thus, ladies and gents, those two knights fought for more than 2 hours upon the field of battle, until their spears were broken and ragged, until their shields had fallen upon the ground, rent and useless. Their swords were chipped and heavy, and they traded blows with fists. Sir Tristram struck such strokes at Sir Palomides that he was made to kneel upon the ground. Sir Palomides broke and cut away many pieces of Tristram's armour in doing that, and Sir Palomides wounded Sir Tristram, for they were both men fighting at their peak. Tristram's flesh was cut open. Blood fell down his leg, ladies and gents. Palomides, spitting blood from his mouth, fought on, and then Sir Tristram was angry out of measure and rushed upon Sir Palomides with such a might that Palomides was knocked back, grovelling to the earth, his sword stumbling out of his grasp. Sir Tristram coming up upon him, sword ready to come and take the stroke. Tristram aimed for his neck, and in that moment Palomides jumped to his feet, ladies and gents, knocked Tristram back, picked his sword up from the ground, readied himself, but in that instant, ladies and gents, in that instant, Tristram came and he knocked Palomides through the shoulder. Heavy Palomides held on to his sword, even though his hands were wet with blood, even though the tendons were breaking. And ever Tristram fought still hard in the like, and Sir Palomides failed not to give him such sad strokes, shifting his sword from his right to his left hand so that his right could hang lame by his side as he fought on, desperately trying against all might to drive Tristram back. It was at the last, ladies and gents, as Palomides knocked Tristram back, forcing him against the trees that were there, that Tristram, in desperation, in anger, in rage, doubled his strokes now, and by fortune Tristram came, struck his sword down upon Palomides' gauntlet, and knocked his sword clean out of his hands. Palomides froze. If he stooped to pick his sword up from the ground, he would have been slain. Tristram, a knight true to the last, paused in that moment as his opponent was unarmed to see what he would choose to do. And then Palomides stood still and beheld his sword with a sorrowful heart. "How now?" said Tristram unto Palomides. "Now I have you at advantage as you had me this day. But it shall never be said in no court among good knights that Sir Tristram will slay a knight who is weaponless. Therefore, take up your sword again," said Tristram, "and let us make an end of this battle." "As for to do this battle," said Palomides, "I dare right well end it. But I have no great lust to fight any more. And for this cause," said Palomides, "my offence to you is not so great, but that we may be friends, perhaps. All that I have offended over you for was my love for the fair Isolde. And as for her, I dare say that she is peerless above all other ladies, and also I proffered her never any dishonour. By her I have gotten the most part of my worship, and since I have offended never anyone, not even her own person. The offence that you've taken is not against you, and yet for that offence you have given me this day many sad strokes, and some I have knocked against you again.
And now, I dare say, I felt never a man of your might who was nor so well breathed, other than Sir Lancelot the Lake. Wherefore, I require you, my lord, forgive me all that I have offended unto you, and this same day come with me to the next church we see. Let me be clean confessed, and afterwards see you that I will truly be baptized. And then we might all ride together, he said, unto the court of Arthur, and there we might be at the high feast.
Take your horse, said Sir Tristram, and as you say, so it shall be. And all your evil God will forgive it to you, as do I. Here, within this mile, is the suffragan of Carlisle, and that shall give you the sacrament of baptism that you seek. Then those two knights took their horses, and Sir Galaran rode with them. And when they came to the suffragan, Sir Tristram told him their desire, and the suffragan let fill a great vessel with water, and when he had hallowed it, he then confessed clean for Sir Palomides, and Sir Tristram, and Sir Galaran were his godfathers. Soon afterwards they departed, and they rode towards Camelot, where King Arthur and Queen Guinevere were, and for the most part all the knights of the Round Table. And so the king and all the court were glad that Sir Palomides was christened, and at that same feast in came Galahad, son of Lancelot, and he sat in the perilous seat, and so therewith departed and dissevered all the knights of the Round Table. And Sir Tristram returned again to the castle of Joyous Gard and the arms of Isolde. And Sir Palomides chose to follow the quest for the questing beast. And that, ladies and gents, brings us to the end of season 12 of Les Morte d'Arthur. Tristram finally having Palomides in his grasp, ready to kill him and slay him once and for all. But at the moment when Tristram may have been able to take Palomides' life, Palomides spoke to him and asked him that perhaps what he should do is to forgive him. After all, is it any great sin or offence that Palomides should love Isolde? Isolde loves Tristram. Tristram loves Isolde. How could either of them be offended that Palomides should love her as well? And finally, at long last, Tristram saw reason, ladies and gents, and so the two of them, at long last, have made their accord. That is the last tale of Les Morte d'Arthur that we will tell for a month. In a month's time, when I return, ladies and gents, then we shall tell tales of the quest for the Holy Grail. Then we shall tell tales of King Arthur, of strange damsels, of ladies of the lake. There will be witches and sorcery. There, Guinevere will finally leave Arthur to flee off with Lancelot. There a kingdom will be rent. And ladies and gents, most important of all, Mordred, the Dark Knight, will rise, ladies and gents. in a month's time, slightly less than a month really, but in a month's time, ladies and gents, Mordred will rise. Arthur will fall. Merlin's prophecies will all come to bear, and I will be here to share it all with you. And on top of that, as if that wasn't enough, I will start telling the tale of Tristram and Isolde from the heart, with no notes, straight to camera. Telling the tale of Tristram and Isolde as it should be. After all, Mallory only tells the first couple of... Mallory misses off the final part of Tristram and Isolde. He tells the first two parts, he doesn't tell the third part. So ladies and gents, I will return. You will have Les Morts d'Arthur there, racing to its conclusion. I will tell the tale of Tristram and Isolde that it should be done. Tail bashing will be back on. It will be a great time for stories, a great time indeed, ladies and gents, and I look forward very much to having the privilege of sharing it with you all very, very shortly. Whew. Do you like that? Do you like that? Merlin and the Holy Grail. We need some Merlin. Well, we can't do Merlin. Merlin prophesied all of this. Merlin prophesied all of this. The Holy Grail is still to come. Alas, poor Merlin is dead. But they're there. They're there in the text, Queen. It'll be good. It'll be great, in fact. And thank you so much for coming, everyone. Big thanks to everyone who came tonight. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Karen and Katie. Thank you, Black Rabbit. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Rosella. No more talking. Fair enough, Queen. You're very, very welcome, Julia. Very welcome, everyone. Coming up tonight, next, though, ladies and gents. Next, what have we got next? I remember now. We were going to read some Romeo and Juliet on Poetry Live, weren't we? The request was that we should read some Romeo and Juliet on Poetry Live. That's what we've got coming up, ladies and gents. That will be here in a few minutes' time. So I will say thank you, love you, and leave you. We'll see you for Poetry Live in a few minutes. Danny, I will miss you all so much. But I will see you when I get back. Anyway, Poetry Live coming up in a few minutes. Bye-bye.